FM, la radio des auditeurs.
Il est 6h sur Royal FM.
The 6 a.m.
with Abel Bela Samari.
It is Wednesday, the 31st of March 2021. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome to Royal Morning News, coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. Let's survey this morning. Stakeholders in the educational sector says the e-learning platform put in place by the government is not effective in all areas.
We have is that it's not accessible yet to all. Those in the suburbs, those in the rural areas, and with a very limited means to some of the parents and even some of the self-sponsored students, it becomes very difficult for them to meet up.
Stay tuned for this and more in this edition of our 6 a.m. newscast. Good morning once again. My name is Abel Bela Samari. We open our news to tell you that 15 ambulances will be handed over today to the Minister of Public Health in Yaoundé. The equipment which fall in line with government response plan against coronavirus has been acquired with funds from the Islamic Development Bank through the Purchase Center of the United Nations Development Program. 10 Type B ambulances were received in February 2021, bringing a total of 25 ambulances to fight for the coronavirus. And this equipment will be received by the Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manahoda Malachi, at 12 noon. 5 out of 6 bills presented at the National Assembly have been adopted. This was during a plenary sitting chaired by the Deputy House Speaker, Emilia Munjoa Lifaka. The proceedings have ended with Honorable Munjoa announcing another plenary date for this Thursday devoted to oral question. The adopted bills have amongst them social, economic, and judicial projects for the welfare of the society. Let's now listen to some members of the National Assembly.
I'm Honorable Adamo from Dongamanto East Special Constituency in particular. I think the bills were quite interesting. The one that has to do with the social aspect for the blinds. Nobody has ever loved to be blind. We've never thought of getting blind, but it happens. And when the state starts looking into cases like that, I think it's very necessary because we're taking care of people who were like us yesterday and who we might be like them tomorrow. And if we are doing that, I think we're helping the nation in many ways.
My name is Cabral Lebi from Cameroonian Party for National Reconciliation. This bill will permit the blind people to have access to books because usually the authors of the books, they have the copyright. So if you want to duplicate this book, you should have his authorization. Now we have the possibility after the validation of this bill to create materials from books specifically for blind people. We will take in charge the blind people, the old people, the prostitution, the mad people. You know, this is many challenges for a minister which don't have money. So we have to work here in this parliament to improve the budget of this minister.
Those were some MPs speaking there, and just to add that a capacity building seminar for members of the Committee of Finance and the Budget at the national level at the National Assembly will take place today. I will move on to education to say that Secondary Education Minister Pauline Nalova-Lyonga has in a communique extended the Easter break to 2 weeks, slating schools resumption for the 12th of April 2021. The communique also urged learners of both examination and non-examination classes to visit the website www.miniset.distantlearning.cm for online studies. Our newsroom spoke with a pedagogue in the person of Mr. Jacob Ano on the validity of this website and the inconveniences that it might come with. He was talking on the microphone of our reporter, Mapala Zita.
The online learning is another form of e-learning where students are taught through electronic means, social media, and whatever platforms that we can use the internet to get knowledge. I think it's a laudable effort. We praise the minister for that because it helps to take our nation towards what the global village is now becoming. The little problem we have with it is that it's not accessible yet to all. Those in the suburbs, those in the rural areas, and with a very limited means to some of the parents and even some of the self-sponsored students, it becomes very difficult for them to meet up. So it might widen the gap between the rich and the poor, because the rich will have access to it while the poor in rural areas will not. All the same, 100% is not of mankind, but I think we encourage and thank the minister for encouraging such initiative. It's difficult, not only the students, even the teachers, to access the websites from the different corners where they are found. But like I said again, we encourage the minister's effort, trying so hard that we come out of the dark ages that we have been. It's just a starting point. It must be difficult, and it has to be difficult. Every beginning is difficult. We are only begging and advising and suggesting that the government can assist her at her budget on this to see that the educational sectors have wireless campuses around the country where students who have access to telephones can go there and study. In a nutshell, we are saying that it's a good initiative, but now the government needs to come in to push this initiative the minister is putting in place.
You are listening to Royal Morning News, coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM. We talk politics. In this newscast, to say political analysts have been decrying the attitude of some civil administrators vis-a-vis the Anglophone crisis. This is in prelude to the incident that took place in Kambendonga-Mantu division of the Northwest region, where 10 civilians were arrested on the orders of the divisional officer, Nga Lawrence. One of our political analysts, Dr. Aban Kalistus, who is a geostratege, says the attitude is condemning.
His act can never be considered to be the right way to go about in a conflictogenic situation or in a crisis like the one in Northwest and Southwest regions. What he has done, for instance, a fuel vendor is arrested because he sold fuel to somebody who is accused to have used the fuel to raise a school. I think this is not the best way a senior administrator of that magnitude could have done, given the much talk about the rough handling of civilians by the security and the administrators. Equally, to arrest parents of supposed wives of the secessionist fighters is out of bounds, is not really within his prerogatives, because by doing so he is fanning more conflict directly or indirectly, because the repercussion, the retaliation that may come after may be more than the situation we have at hand.
Dr. Aban Kalistus was interviewed by our own Promise. Kanti, I will take this future story. Cameroonians Christians joined their peers nationwide to observe Holy Week, which is a week preceding Easter. And our report, Jementa, in the following report, spoke with some Christians and compiled the following report for us.
The Holy Week to most Christians faithful reminds them of the triumphant entry of Jesus to Jerusalem, to his betrayal and his crucifixion. For all these sacrifices, therefore, these Christians faithful tell us the perception they have of the Holy Week.
This my Holy Week. I decided to do giveaway to my loved one. I started doing that yesterday. Buying small gift to them and praying. I fast.
You should forgive, love one another, then it will be well for your lives. I'm doing that. Forgiving, yes, I'm forgiving. Yes, I'm going to church.
I'm only praying for the people that they are dying now, that God should help them and protect them any place that they are there.
To some Christian faithful, Christians should not wait for the Holy Week to practice God's will.
As a Christian, we should not wait for that day, because Jesus has paid the price already. And I think what we should do is that every day we should try to be pleasant to the Lord. We should try to do what the Lord has prescribed inside the Holy Bible. Now, I think we should not just be a Christian for the Holy Week. We should be a Christian all our lifetime. We should be Christians as long as we know the truth.
This gospel artist further adds that
anything we do during this period, we should pray that it should help us to continue to be good Christians and not to be Christians of the season.
Although these Christians faithful have divergent perception of the Holy Week, what's for sure is that these Christians will definitely join their praise worldwide to record the difficulties Jesus went through to set them free.
Thank you very much, Jement. We just take this note in sports to say Cameroon Indomitable Lions yesterday played a 0-0 scoreline against Rwanda at the Japoma Sports Complex in Douala. This was the last round qualifying game for the African Cup of Nations to be hosted by Camerooners from January 2022. And it is with that note in sports that we wrap up this edition of Royal Morning News. More newscasts will be yours at 8 a.m. in the French language, 12 noon Royal Midi, 2 p.m. Royal Afternoon Edition, 6 p.m. Royal Swahili bilingual version. The team keeping you company this morning is made up of Carol Podastin, Teresa Copyright Clark, Remali Kumesa Sound Engineer, Lenkwekama Video Editor on our Facebook page, Royal FM Cameroon. The news was produced by Susan Nayonge with editorial question coming from Jean-Pascal Tala. Coordination is done by our own station manager Bertrand Uwona. General supervision is ensured by Reverend Pastor Emmanuel Nobisai. For presentation, my name is Abel Bela Samari. Up next is Royal Matina with a guy they call Bill The Rock, who is here with me this morning. Good morning to you, Bill.
Très heureux de vous retrouver ici ce matin en compagnie de Abel Bela Samari. Oui, pour ce mercredi, troisième sortie de la semaine. Ouais. Oui, le matinal royal, bien entendu, n'est-ce pas, sur les ondes de la radio 88.4. Ouais. Il faut dire, et le rappeler peut-être, c'est la radio des auditeurs.
Beaucoup de musique.
De la musique, oui, ça c'est clair. Surtout comme en fait, vous savez, enfin, quand on se lève le matin, c'est surtout pour aller chercher le nyama. Yeah. Et donc, par conséquent, en fait, on va parler un peu de nyama aujourd'hui, hein, voilà, du travail.